We continue our journey through Jonah with the second verse of chapter 3. We're now in the second half of the book. And I'm glad that Jonah 3 repeats some of the same things that Jonah 1 said. But when we were looking at Jonah 1, we were trying to learn the letters, so we couldn't stop and look at the grammar. So I'm glad that Jonah 3:2 somewhat repeats Jonah 1:2, so that we can actually learn the grammar that was back then. See if you can pronounce this line. I would say, Kum lake el Nineveh ha'ir ha-gadolah. Now, what do you recognize here? Well, kum was a vocabulary word way back at the beginning of the course. It means something like to arise or rise. We'll come back to lake in a second. El means to. Nineveh, you might recognize as Nineveh. This is a vocal schwa because it's after a long vowel. Nineveh. Ha'ir ha-gadolah. You probably know gadol because it means great. It's a great adjective. And ir is a vocabulary word that you know that means city. Now, gadol, great, is an adjective. It comes typically after the word it's modifying, and it needs to agree in gender, number, and definiteness. So, gadolah, you can see the kamatz hey there. That suggests that the word ir is feminine. Now, you can't see it from ir. Ir is a high-frequency word. It's an old word, because they had cities for a long time, but it's feminine. And sometimes the old irregular words, they don't have the endings and things that we'd like them to have. But it is a feminine singular, ir, and so gadolah is feminine singular as well. Kamatz hey tells you it's feminine singular. They have to also agree in definiteness, and so you can see the hey that means that's the city, and you see hey patak doubling here that tells you it's the great one. Why doesn't the ayin double? Because ayin is a guttural, and I don't do doubling. It's not in my contract. And so the patak double lengthens. It becomes a kamatz gadol, hey, hagadolah. It becomes a great gadol, a big gadol, a kamatz that's a long a by compensatory lengthening. So this line translates as rise, go to Nineveh, the great city. Okay, so first, kum. What is kum here? Kum is an imperative. It's a second masculine singular imperative. When you learn the word, you learned kum as the vocabulary word, and it's also the second masculine singular imperative. Just something to memorize, I guess. It is a weak verb. It's a middle weak, what's sometimes called a hollow verb because the middle is hollow, so to speak. That sharuk will go away in different circumstances, like in a converted imperfect, the sharuk goes away, and you're just left with kof mem, and you're thinking, hey, there should have been 3 letters here. Where'd the third one go? Well, that's how middle weak verbs behave, or hollow verbs. But this, in the imperative, it's all there. All the letters are there. And so this kum is a second masculine singular imperative form of the word kum, which means to rise or rise. Now, lake is a pretty weird one. I think this is fun. Not that I like the fact that its head got chopped off. This is a weird one. Don't look for any system here. This is just bizarre. It's from halak, which again is a vocabulary word you learned a long time ago. It means to walk. And this is the second masculine singular imperative form of, hey, you, walk, or hey, you, go. Get moving, man. And it's lake. And where's the hey of halak? The hey has gone away. Who knew? So that's one of those weird ones. There's another one like this, lakak, that means to take or receive. The lamed goes away in its imperative as well. These are really strange, but kind of fun, right? Because language shortens things. We have the proper way of saying things that tends to be longer than the slang way of saying things that chops things up. I don't know if that's what's happened here. That's my guess. But anyway, lake means go. It's the second masculine singular imperative form of halak. And with that, we have done the first half of Jonah 3:2. I wanted to focus on these imperatives. And so in the next video, Lord willing, we will do the rest of Jonah 3:2.